Good morning. Perhaps by now you have read my post about the person who became ill or had an emergency health situation on the flight that I was on yesterday. Um, Y'all know for the last few years, well, for many years, I've taken my health very seriously, but the last few years, I figured it out, right? I had that correct help to help me get to the place I need to be health wise. You saw my transition from the weight loss, and I kept telling everybody who commented about it that it was more about my health than it was about my weight. The two are intertwined. Fat can't live in a healthy body, right? So, but my issues was for me, I wanted to not have type 2 diabetes. I wanted to not have rheumatoid arthritis or other things. Well, I still have rheumatoid arthritis, but it's highly managed and under control, basically with the food that I eat, as evidenced by when I fall off and I have things that I shouldn't have, like stuff with gluten in it or a lot of fat, the bad fat, not the good fat, fried stuff. I mean, I start having flare ups, and so, but I do know when I follow the Healthy Inside Out protocol, I don't have health issues, right? So I've said to people all along, I hope you could check my videos on YouTube. I hope that if anything happens to me, my children, my family will rally around to take care of me. But it has been my goal for many years, long before I even started becoming a healthier person, that I did not want my children to have to take care of me. I had always been looking for ways to become healthy. I fell for all of the things most people fall for. I fell for the quick fixes, the meal plans that you can purchase. That as soon as you stop eating those, you gain your weight back, right? And in that process, you don't become healthy because it's practically impossible to become healthy eating unhealthy foods. I fell for all of the little things. I even had a doctor put me on medication at one time. This was before the Ozempic days, but he put me on medication to help curb appetite and those kinds of things. And so those things don't work either. As soon as you stop taking it, it doesn't work. So several of the things I've learned is if you don't address why you eat the things you eat, you will continue to eat the things you eat, because the food or the products sold as food in America are, for all intents and purposes, drugs, because they are addicting. They pay scientists a lot of money to make you crave those foods. Once you have them, you want them again. That's exactly what drugs do. That's why the dope dealer will give you your first hit for free, because he knows he got a customer for life. And so the same thing is happening with our boxed foods that are heavy laden in sugar, heavy laden in chemicals, heavy laden in all kind of things. And I get it. No one wants to hear that about the food supply, because we like what we like. And hey, you're not going to change unless you want to. And I completely understand that. I've had people say, girl, don't talk to me about that healthy stuff. And guess what? I don't. When I learn that people don't care and don't want to hear it, I move on right about my business. I say a little prayer in my heart for them, and I go on about my business. I'm not shoving anything down anyone's throat. I offer food for thought. What I want is for you to consider not just your life, because that's the thing I get. It's my life. I got to die from something. You absolutely do. We all do. We must leave this world. Nobody's here forever. We are all going to go, right? But you have a little bit more control than you think about how it is going toward the ends. Now, outside of being hit by lightning and run over by a truck or a bus or whatever, you don't have a lot of control in that. But in a way, you kind of do. Because if your body is set to be healthy, you may recover even faster. So you still got a little say-so by the choices that you choose, foods and drinks that you choose to put into your body. So I was just on that flight yesterday, and I was hopeful that the man was going to be okay. And I was watching I'm going to say it was his wife, but his companion. And I was watching her face. At first there was agony and fear. Excuse me. And then it moved into, she was just looking at him lovingly, like she was wishing him to stay, right? Wishing him to be okay. And then when he was able to get up and get back in his seat, there was a look of relief, but yet still uncertainty on her face. She stood and just watched him for the longest time. And they did allow them to exit the flight before everyone else. And I was watching them again at the customs as they were getting their passports checked, as they were getting ready to take him in, I guess, to a local hospital or whatever to be seen. All of that, this could have been a one-off. It could have been his very first time having an episode. I don't know. I don't know these people. I don't know his story. So let's go with this his first time. Well, my first time, if you've watched my YouTube video, I talked about when I was diagnosed with diabetes. My very first time, I was sent to the emergency room and put in ICU because my blood sugar was 677. At the time, I had no idea what that meant. That meant I was off the chart sick, should have probably been in a coma, right? So I don't know. It could have been his first time finding out that he had a medical problem, or it could have been an existing medical problem that he was like, I'll be all right, because I got that pair of shoes too. Okay, I've had the diagnosis. I got it the hard way, ER to ICU to a regular room to being in the room with the lady with her foot about to get cut off. Remember I talked about that on a video. So, but then I've also had the moments of, with that pill I was taking that was regulating my blood sugar, getting a little sassy. I can eat what I want to eat. I can eat what I want to eat. So I got that t-shirt too. It's not fair to the people in your life when you juggle your health, when you play Russian roulette with your health. It is not fair to the people who love you. It is not fair to the people who love you. I was not fair to the people who love me when I was baking crap and serving it up and feeding folks my annual red velvet cakes and all the things that I, did and ate myself. I was not being kind or loving or fair to the people that I love who say they love me. I was not being fair to my friend girls. Every time we left this country going on a trip or just went on a trip stateside somewhere, I was not being fair to them when I would consume alcohol and eat the sweets and the carbohydrates and the things. I don't think in those moments I was 100% aware, but there was an awareness that I knew better. I had an awareness that I knew I should do some things. I did not necessarily realize in that moment that the foods that I was eating, I was addicted to. I would say that when I first learned about that food was possibly laced with things that would make us addicted, I still kind of would fall into it and give into it. And the excuse was, well, they put that stuff in there to make us keep eating it. So I went along with it, right? But it wasn't until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And sometimes people don't get sick and tired of being sick and tired because that's their normal. If they don't have something to complain about, then they just keep doing the thing. I sit and I listen and I watch people. I kind of always done it, but I really pay attention now when they start talking about their medications. Well, I take this and I take that, and I take 2 of these, I take 1 of those. Well, I can't take that. That makes me sick, but so I take this. I feel differently about that now when I hear those conversations because I know those are often conversations that don't have to be had. Some of the chronic illnesses out there, guys, can be reversed. A lot of doctors will tell you that they can't, and they're not being mean to you. It's not that they're really lying to you. It's that they do not necessarily know about nutrition. Most doctors will tell you they get little to zero education about nutrition and how it affects the body. But the information is out there. The information is out there. The information is out there. I share a lot of the information. I'm nobody's doctor. I don't play one on TV, but I have some information that has helped. I don't know how many of my hundreds of people that have come through my program get off diabetes medications or even reduce them. get off high blood pressure medications or reduce them, get off cholesterol medications or reduce them, or feel better. The testimonials are amazing. And I have it all. It's in a private group. And from time to time, some of my clients will try to add their friends to the group, but it's a private group. And it's private for a reason, because the people in that group already know that they want to be better. Right? Now, I'm not going to say all of them are doing the right thing. They're not. And I get that. But they have the keys to success. And so they know, they have the information. And when they're good and ready, they will use the information. But I don't make my posts public intentionally. Because one, I'm not marketing my business to the public. I just don't. I'm a word of mouth kind of guy, kind of gal. And you got to have access to me to do my program. So you have to know me, or know someone who knows me, or know someone who's been through my program. And I open my arms and I welcome you to come. I had a friend who paid her money last year to do the program. She actually signed up twice. On the second time, she was almost in tears at the thought of having to give up alcohol for 60 days. Well, unfortunately, that friend passed away last year as well. Just a couple of months after she had her teary episode about the things that she couldn't give up. And she, in that conversation, expressed her fears about her health. Listen, folks, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I can tell my friends, my colleagues, my clients, my family, you, anybody, I can tell you things, and you have to decide to do them or not do them. The choices are yours. Do I walk this walk perfectly? Absolutely not. Very transparent with my clients. I post all the time when I slip up, but I also tell them the results of what happened to me when I slipped up. So, hey, I'm not about the bullshit. I will tell them, hey, now, if I have clients that are going through the program, I won't say what I ate, because I'm not trying to derail a newbie that's out here trying to figure it out. But I'll tell them, hey, I ate at a restaurant and I had this or that, and I know it had MSG because it affected my mouth. Or I know it had this because my RA flared. Or I know it had this because I had this to happen to me. Because I've been clean for so long that when I do eat dirty, I can tell how it affects my body. So it's not a perfect walk, but it's a better walk. I just am very passionate about health because of the things I've learned versus the things I was doing before. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm on a journey to lose weight. And hey, do your thing, baby. If you got to take a shot, take a pill, drink a drink, stay in the gym 4 hours, all while eating the foods you eat and having yourself a cheat day, I'm not going to begrudge you that. You do what works for you. Do what works for you, because I got the t-shirts. I've done them all. I have done them all. My doctor even put me on Ozempic for a hot minute. It wasn't really for weight loss. Well, let me back that up. I, at the time, was still type 2 diabetic. And I had mentioned to her that I wanted to lose weight. And she said to me that there's a drug out here that the people in Hollywood are taking. And it's actually made for people with diabetes. And she said for diabetics, they call it Ozempic. She said, but they're calling it something else. And I think it was Mounjaro or something, or Wegovy. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of those. But that's what they're giving to the people in Hollywood. And they're having a lot of success and they're losing weight on it. So we can adjust your meds and I can put you on this and we'll see how it goes. Baby, let me tell you what. My close friends already know this. I may have been on that Ozempic for about 2 weeks, maybe 3. I doubt if it was 3. And the reason why, that stuff locked my body up so bad, really, really bad. I could not do a number 2. Okay? I'm regular as rain, baby. I'm going. TMI, but I'm going every day. I ain't never had a problem with that. Not in my 315-pound body. I ain't had no problem with that. Not ever. Not from a little girl to a grown woman. Never had a problem with that. Outside of time, I think they put me on Oxycontin for something. But anyway, shoulder surgery. Anyway, never had no problem going to the bathroom till I put that Ozempic in my body. Baby. Changed my prayer life. I keep saying it so you know it ain't a lie. My friends have heard me say it. I was praying for people who struggle with going to the bathroom. I would be in the bathroom going, Lord God, if this is what my friend's going through, Jesus, heal them right now in the name of the Lord. Fix it, God, because this is terrible. I took myself off that garbage. I was sucking down water, trying to get relief. I would increase my exercise, trying to get relief. Listen, ain't nothing out there worth me being that uncomfortable to get any kind of result. Weight loss, nothing. Honey, bye. So it was not a drug for me. In fact, some months later, after I found my way and had my success of reversing my health issues and shedding unwanted fat, I went just to my favorite spa, my salon that I used to go to. And the people who worked there told me they had several clients who had been taking Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs. And they all, I think this is about 10 or 11 people, all of them had become very sick from it. These are things they're not telling you on TV, but if you sit there and you listen to the side effects, you know, the little part at the end of the commercial that they say real fast, pay attention to that. On every medication that they run, every one of them has side effects that's worse than whatever you probably living with, right? But anyway, so I care. I just care. That person on the flight really got my attention. It frightened me. I was frightened for the lady that was with him. What happens if this guy passes away? I was concerned for the flight attendants who are up there not medically trained, but doing the best they can to try to help this guy. I was frightened for the people on the flight who, are we going to be on here with a dead body that we don't know? Will we have to turn around and go to an airport and all of our vacation be disrupted? What's happening? What's going to happen? So I had a million things running through my mind about this at the same time. Your health is very important. How you eat, what you do, how you move is very important. Not just for you and the skin you're in, but for everybody around you, everyone who's going to come in contact with you. I think about right before I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I was singing at church in the choir, and we were singing background for Dorinda Clark Cole. And man, I was so excited to be there because I had her albums and I used to sing that stuff at home. And so we're up there and I'm holding it down, I'm singing, I'm doing my part. And I mean, we're actually on the concert. This isn't even rehearsal. And she stopped to minister for a little bit, and I thought I was going to pass out. And the lady next to me was from a neighboring church who joined with our choir to sing. And she looked at me and she said, "Sis, are you okay?" And honey, I said what no black woman on earth is ever supposed to say, because we always supposed to say, "I'm fine." And I did not. I said, "No, I am not okay." I ain't gonna lie, sis hesitated. She didn't know what to do because I didn't give her the standard black woman answer. Because black women have it. We got it. I'm good. And I didn't have it. And so I'm making decisions now. Do I ruin this concert for everybody and pass out on this stage? Or do I take my behind off of here and go see about myself? So I did the thing and I got off the stage while she was ministering. And the church secretary said, "Well, I got some ginger ale downstairs now. If you're black, you know. If you know, you know, right?" Ginger ale will fix everything, right? So we went down in the fellowship hall and she gave me some ginger ale. I felt better. And I said, well, as a person who's been a choir director, I would never let somebody walk onto my choir stand after the concert had started. So I did not return to the choir stand. I went and sat down behind the man that taught us the music. And he said, "I see you came down. Sis, you okay?" I said, "Well, I felt really bad, but I drank some ginger ale and I feel better now." And he says, "Oh, okay. My son is a diabetic too." I snapped so fast. I'm not no diabetic. I don't have no diabetes. 2 days later, I was in ICU with pre-onset diabetes. So, listen, we all have choices. We have choices. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So I think what I'm going to do on my last group of this year, which I don't have a date set yet, I think I'm going to allow some people to participate in my program simply for gathering the information. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I may do 2 separate classes. I may do the people who are going to do the program because they need to and they want to be better. But I think I'm going to do something just to put the information out there because so many of us are walking around not knowing. 4 in 10 people in the United States of America are walking around with diabetes and do not know it. I was one of those people. How did I get to where my blood sugar was 677 and it went unnoticed? Because when you go to the doctor, they're going to check your blood pressure. They're going to check your weight. They're not going to check your blood sugar unless you present with symptoms. And so most people don't even know what those symptoms are. And therefore it goes unnoticed, unchecked. And then when you reach a certain age, they start doing all the blood work. Well, just think I was 40. I guess I hadn't reached the age where they started checking all the blood work. I guess that's when you get more to 50. So, running all the labs, But anyway, hey, I love you guys to life. I know this is a long video. Live well and in good health. But remember, your health not only impacts you and the skin you're in, it impacts everyone that you come in contact with. Because what if you pass out from whatever it is you have that you don't know you have in a room full of strangers? Now, a room full of strangers' lives have been impacted by decisions that you have been making, whether willfully or unwillfully, whether knowingly or unknowingly. It was decisions that you made, things that you ate, things that you drank that got you here. The disease that presents in your body right now has been brewing for 10 years. The disease that's brewing in your body right now that's coming to surface has been happening in your body for at least 10 years. Okay, so let's do better. Let's be better. If you're curious about doing better and being better, hit me up. If you're on my Facebook page, you know how to reach me, right? Whether it's on Messenger, most of you probably have my cell phone number. Y'all have seen me put my website up. Find me, reach me. I'm all about people being better. I ain't chasing no bag. That's why I don't advertise. That's because I'm not chasing a bag. I'm not doing this for a living, right? I'm not doing this for a living. I could. I got the credentials to do so. Not doing it for a living. I'm doing it for your living. How about that? I do what I do, not to make a living, but to help all of us have a better living. Go on, girl. Spitting bars. Anyway, I love you guys to life. Stay healthy, live well, and in good health. And make better choices, and I can teach you how to do that. Deuces.